every few years we see a different controversy come back round. It's this rotating cycle of manufactured controversy? Yeah. And at the moment, the thing that keeps getting like shoved down my brain from YouTube is focal length. And I don't necessarily have anything to say about that. There are things that I could say. There are things that I probably should say, actually. What I'm going to start with, and I'll get to them. Just give me a second. What I'm going to start with, though, is how dumb it is to focus on stuff like this. And I get it. I kind of get it. Because we live in a detached world where we need to like talk about things in text often, or one-sided in videos. Because like someone like me coming on here, someone with an actual following of people will come on and say something like focal length doesn't matter, or whatever the thing is, open gate doesn't matter. Yeah, right. But because it's one-sided, because it's text-based back and forth, the thing that I think people are missing is that the reason it doesn't matter is because you can just go out and figure this out for yourself. Why bother arguing about it? Why bother arguing about it? Go and, like, if you don't have a camera yourself, but if you do have a camera yourself, go and use your lenses and see what focal length does. And if it feels like it makes a difference to you, then it matters. But if it doesn't feel like it makes a difference to you, then it doesn't matter. If it's because you're wondering whether you should buy a new particular lens, the problem with that is it doesn't matter what people say. It doesn't matter if someone's saying, 100mm does this. Because for one, how do you know you're going to feel the same when you see that? Two, 100mm doesn't always have the same field of view, even on the same size sensor. And I've experienced it. I don't know why this is the case. I've never experienced it with 100mm actually. But between my Sony 35 that I have now, which is the 35 1.8, bear with me, it's at home, and the one that I did have, which was like the Samyang Pancake 35, both full frame lenses, but the Samyang had a slightly different field of view to the Sony one. So saying that 35mm is like important because it's this field of view, might be slightly off anyway. And I feel like I'm part of the controversy saying that, to be part of it. It's back. I guess this is why it's frustrating. If you're watching videos to get a feel of the lens, I think you're going to be disappointed. Because I think the best way, and the only way, if you're going to spend a load of money on something, is go and rent it. There's so many places that you can rent camera equipment cheaply, safely, easily. There's websites that do it. There's things like Fat Llama, which is like peer-to-peer. I've rented quite a few. The reason I know I don't need to own a probe lens is because I rented one. Because as fun as those things are, pain in the arse. Very niche pain in the arse. So for 35 quid, or whatever I paid for it, I know that I don't need to own one of them. But I'd watched a load of videos on them before I rented it, and I was nearly ready to buy one. Because I thought, yep, definitely, really cool, definitely going to use that loads because it's weird and fun. No, not at all. Rented it for a couple of days, used it on 2 shots, thought, yep, glad I didn't buy this. So I think my point is, stop trying to live through other people. Go and try these things for yourself. Even if, and hear me, listen to me here, this is the free way to do this. Find a shop that actually sells the camera or the lens that you're looking for, because they'll have other ones, and go and just spend like a couple of hours in there. You know, the fucking nerds in camera shops love talking about this shit. Have you ever been into Wex and spoken to them? Those guys, that's all they care about. That's why they work there. They fucking love this shit. They will chew your ear off for the chance to talk about some camera gear, and you can just try it all. Yes, it'll be in the shop, but like, I'm pretty sure, and this is when I first bought, wasn't the camera, but the flash, the first flash I ever bought, on camera flash. I went into Jessop's in the Trafford Centre, and I took my camera in, and I just got them like to open up the displays and let me use the flash, and I took like half a dozen headshots of the guy who worked there, and was like, yeah, this seems exactly like what I need, and I bought it. We are losing these spaces, I get that. They are fewer and further between. Like every high street used to have a Jessops. You could go in, you could try the stuff. But in every major city, there's like a Wex. In every major city, CEX lets you like have a handle of stuff. They'll watch you like a hawk because, I mean, the last time I was in CEX, a guy did a poo and let it fall out of the bottom of his trousers. Not an employee, but like that's the kind of clientele that that place often has. Quick sidebar, I was returning something that I'd bought from there that was broke. Halfway through the return, I looked down because this smell just like came from nowhere, and this guy's just shaking this poo out of his trouser leg, and I just went, guys, you're gonna have to, I can't even say what I just saw, you're gonna have to have a look at this. And they came out from around the back of the counter like, what's that? I was like, it's a shit. That guy just did a shit. They wouldn't let me do the rest of the return, so I had to stand outside the shop for 30 minutes while they cleaned up the poo. So yeah, maybe just give CEX a miss. But like, for your own sanity and for the sake of not arguing with people on the internet, just go, take the drive, clear half a Saturday, take the drive to a Wex, just go in there, try some cameras and lenses. They do the Fuji like medium format stuff now. They do APS-C, they do full frame. They've got old lenses, they've got new they've got stuff that's like the traded in stuff. Just go have a play. Ask if you like, take someone with you, do some portraits of them, take something small with you, do some like, little product shots. They will let you play around because they think you're going to buy something, and then maybe buy something off them. I don't care. But real experience, your own experience, will trump any kind of argument you can possibly have on the internet. Because yes, focal length can matter, but you won't know why until you actually go out and do something yourself that is similar to what you want to do with it in the end. Do you get me? Open gate, right. I did start obsessing about open gate actually. So this is one that's close to my heart. I was so desperate to get one of either the Pixis 6K or the Pixis 12K. It was going to be the first camera that I'd bought brand new for 16 years. One of the reasons was open gate. I thought, I need it. I do a lot of that cropping the middle bit out, the 16:9 out of the middle, 9:16? Yeah, 9:16 out of the middle. I thought, need that. And it's funny watching that Gerald Undone video where at the end he was like, you can just zoom out a bit. And I was like, yeah, that's what I came to. I didn't get one in the end because I was like, no, I don't need it actually, because I can just like, there's nothing that's been stopping me just framing a little bit wider. It's been absolutely fine. I've done it on jobs where I've been paid decent money for me, like 1,200 quid a day jobs. I've used that. Admittedly, it was the out of the 6K, but that's like APS-C. It's got more to play with, I guess. But I did it, and it's fine. And I could do it with this camera from 2014. Absolutely fine, shooting in 4K. Not going to be noticeably different. But there might be a reason why it matters to you. There might be a reason why in your workflow it has to be open gate. Maybe you just really want that framing, and you don't want to be like cropping. You just want that slightly different aspect ratio. But you won't know until you try. You don't have to try the camera with open gate, but try the one without it. Try the camera that you've got now and shoot a little bit wider and crop that. This is what I mean. It doesn't matter what everyone thinks. It matters what your experience is. The amount of times in the past 16 years where I've thought, I need such and such a thing. I need a 4K display. I wish I could have rented a 4K display because it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I've got a really nice, cost me over £1,000, 32-inch 4K BenQ monitor. And I reverted back to the one I found in my basement. Found one in the basement of the flats I was living in about 10 years ago now. Someone had just thrown it away. Dell 27-inch 1440p. And I reverted back to that because it was the one that I had about. It's actually the one I'm using as a camera monitor at the moment. But I wish that I'd been able to go and use one of those BenQ ones and see, doesn't matter that much, does it? Over £1,000 difference. Not that big a deal, actually. Could have just stuck with the 27-inch, not quite 4K one. But All that marketing, all the people talking about this stuff leads you to believe one thing, and your personal experience might be different. I think that's as much as I can flog this dead horse right now, but just think about it. Try it out yourself. Hopefully you know someone with one and go and borrow it. Just thinking back now to the amount of stuff that I bought and then sold at a loss because I was like, oh yeah, didn't actually need that. Laters. See you in the next one.